Hello and welcome to a special interview at Property Investor News. My name's Kelly Lemon and I'm here with Alan and Dee. Thank you ever so much for joining us, we really appreciate it.
Hello.
Now, I'm quite intrigued by you guys as a couple, so I want to sort of find out a bit more about your property journey. So, Dee, how long have you been into property?
Well, we've been into property for over 20 years. I'm showing my age now. We've been amateur developers really. As a family, we've bought houses, done them up and developed them and then sold them on. So a long time.
So what was it about developing properties? You say an amateur developer, but what was it that attracted you to that sort of way of...
We just love the buildings. We like the historic period style properties. Everything about them. We wanted to renovate them, restore them, bring them back to their former glory. We just enjoyed doing it. It was like a hobby. So
you've been doing that as a hobby and presumably you've been funding that with your day jobs in terms of funding the actual development, and you've lived in the projects whilst you've been doing that.
We have.
And then selling it with children.
Yes,
okay,
we were.
Interesting. So when have you taken the leap and how did you take the leap to sort of go from amateur developers? I think actually it was around 2007, wasn't it? What happened then?
Well, by that time we decided, I got speaking to a lot of people, I educated myself and finding about ways of buying property, and one way was through auctions. And so we did some research and we ended up in 2007 buying about 7 properties in auction, which was quite exciting because that we didn't know it, but that was just before the crash. But because there wasn't much money in the room, we got some really good prices on these 7 properties. We held them for 6 months to a year and then we surfed through the crash. Because we bought them at such a good price, when we sold them after the property crash, we still made a profit, and we kept one.
So now this is a couple that's developing one property at a time, so every couple of years, and then you go to buying 7 in a year. Do you want to give me a little bit of understanding as to how and why you took that leap?
It was just something exciting to do. It's just trading something else. I've always been trading commodities and items, and property was just another commodity to trade. And I thought, well, if you can buy 7, then buy 7. Why just stop at 1?
Now you funded that yourself, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so you bought them through auction.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting, what's your background?
I'm a chartered accountant by profession.
Okay, great. So you're the numbers guy.
Yep.
In essence. So
the spreadsheet man.
You buy the 7 properties. And you sell I think you sold all 7 or?
No, we sold 6, we've still got 1, a flat in Birmingham.
Okay, great. And tell us a bit more about these sorts of properties that you were buying in auction.
Well, these were just flats. These are flats that were bought by the buyers off plan. So some of them hadn't even been used. You know, the blue covers were still on the smoke detectors. So it's very easy just to clean up and get ready to sell them. But because they bought them off plan, they paid a lot of money for them. And then when it came to them being ready to buy, when they were finished, the price had dropped a bit and it was less than was originally expected. Therefore they had a high mortgage and they were in negative equity. Unfortunately they couldn't pay their mortgage, and therefore these flats were repossessed, and so that's why they're being sold in auction as repossessed flats. So we just went through and bought them in 2007.
So, and what's interesting, Dee, is you actually didn't pay an awful lot of attention or interest at this stage.
Because I just saw this as Al's thing. He loves trading, he always has. I never even went to the auctions with him. I just let him carry on doing what he wanted to do. As long as he had the money, then that was fine by me.
An auction is a very exciting place to be. The atmosphere's amazing. There's adrenaline, there's pressure, there's action. It's a great place to actually buy property if you know what you're doing. But one thing I would say, do have a bid price, a bid limit, a cap. Don't go above it. And quite often I'd go to an auction just wasting my time rather than on my money. And I was happy to do that. You do have to do your research very carefully.